Hey everyone! In this video, we're going to share with you our recent experience flying with Juneyao Airlines from Manchester to Bangkok. Now, you might have not heard about this airline before, or perhaps you're already thinking about flying with them in your next journey. But we're here to let you know what it was actually like flying with this Chinese airline, and why we decided to fly with them in the first place. Honestly, it was a bit of a tough decision. We hadn't heard much about them, and after reading a few reviews online, we weren't feeling super confident. Their website isn't the most user-friendly, and it looks a little outdated. And there are some grammar mistakes here and there as well, but there are a few things that caught our attention. We managed to get this flight from Manchester to Bangkok around early January 2025 for just under £300 each way. Not bad, right? For Manchester route, the website said that we could check in 2 pieces of luggage per person, which is 23 kg per luggage. This was perfect since we were moving back to Thailand for good and wanted to make the most of our luggage allowance. Juneyao started flying to Manchester back in July 24, connecting Shanghai to the north of England. They used a Boeing 7879 for the long-haul flight with a 333 seating configuration, which is a very common product for long-haul journey. When we were booking our flight, we spotted a 14-hour layover option and thought, why not make the most of it? This may sound like a nightmare for some, but for us it's a great chance to check out China, especially since neither of us has been there before. With all these reasons in mind, it's a no-brainer for us to give Juneyao a try. But how was the actual experience with the airline? Let's dive in and find out. We started off at Manchester Airport Terminal 2 bright and early. We got there 3.5 hours early since apparently you can't do online check-in or select your seat in advance. We sat together though on the first leg luckily, but on the second one we were separated. If you're traveling in a big group or with your family, you might be able to arrange something ahead of time. I was a little bummed though because I usually like having a window seat to myself, but I think it is what it is. Manchester Airport had a ton of delays and cancellations that week because of the snow. While we started boarding on time, we had to sit on the plane for quite a while before we actually pushed back and took off. The reason being that the cargo couldn't be loaded onto the plane due to icy conditions around the ramp. It wasn't a huge deal for us since we had a long layover, and after sitting there, still, for 3 hours, we were then good to go. The cabin was pretty nice overall. It comes with a light purplish theme which gives us a calm and soothing vibe. The seats were standard for economy with a very comfortable legroom for me at 5'7". We got a USB port for charging our phones, we got given a headset, and there was a decent selection of movies as well, about 20 of them are Hollywood films. Surprisingly, they also had a Wi-Fi on board. It was a bit tricky for me to lock in because you need a Chinese phone number, but if you manage to lock in, you do get 20 minutes of free Wi-Fi. Let's move on to food. Well, let's just say it was a little disappointing. It wasn't bad, it was just very basic. If you're not into Asian flavors, well then bring along some snacks with you. We were served dinner and breakfast on this flight. For our second flight to Bangkok, it was a snacks box. One thing that I have to mention though, we had a little issue with a vegan meal request. Rowan's vegan, so we have already submitted a request when booking. But when it came time for food, the crew had no idea about the meal request. They asked if we have any confirmation, but we didn't receive anything from the airline after submitting the form on the website. It might be a mistake on our end, but I would recommend double checking with the customer service if you have directory requests to avoid any surprises. I have to say though, the crew was super attentive and very friendly, just what you would expect it on an Asian airlines. We were pretty impressed. We landed in Shanghai Pudong Airport 2 hours behind the schedule. The airport was massive, but it was very modern and clean. Lots of English signs, which makes it a really good transit hub. But as we were hoping to spend the day in the city, we rushed through the immigration, which by the way can be very slow. We hopped on a maglev train, checked out the bun, snapped a few photos, and of course, ate a lot of great food. We had a really fun day out as both of us has never been to China before, so this allowed us to get a glimpse of the country. After a really great day in Shanghai, we made it back to the airport for our connecting flight to Bangkok, and thankfully our luggage arrived all in one piece. Honestly, if the price is right, I would totally fly with them again. If not, I'd probably have to think twice. Communication with them wasn't the best. and it was a little confusing navigating on that site, sometimes just for the most basic information. I think lacking in communication could be a real problem should anything goes wrong. So if the price isn't that hugely different, well then, I'll probably just go with another familiar airlines for now, just for your peace of mind. That said, there's definitely room for improvement, and I think Juneyao is a really good airline, a solid airline for that price and quality. I hope you found this video helpful. There wasn't much information about that long-haul service when I tried to search for it, so I hope this will be useful for those flying with them soon, especially if you're flying out of Manchester. This is our first video ever, so sorry if I missed anything or things is a little rough around the edges, but for now, happy travels and I'll see you in the next one.